Hi, my name's Garrett Johnson, and I am a marketing professor at Questrom. And my expertise is in digital advertising. Specifically, my research examines the effectiveness of digital advertising and also examines the privacy issues involved in that space. Today, I'm going to talk to you about my Ghost Ad research that I co-authored with my co-authors Randall Lewis and Elmar Nubemeyer, who were at Google at the time. One of the hardest problems for advertisers is understanding what consumers would do without seeing their ads. So consider, for example, Doritos. Everyone is aware of Doritos. So showing a Doritos ad isn't going to make somebody aware. It may increase their favorability towards the brand. It may remind them that Doritos could be a tasty snack they could have on their break. But every day, people would buy Doritos, even if Doritos turned off all of its advertising. So experiments basically are very useful for solving this problem. In an experiment, we randomly sort people into a treatment group and a control group. And in the treatment group, we allow them to be exposed to ads from an advertiser like Doritos. And in the control group, we ensure that the users or the consumers don't see ads from Doritos, at least from that campaign. And so the control group tells you what people would buy without seeing an ad campaign, at least for this particular ad campaign. And the difference between the treatment and the control group tells you the incremental impact of this ad campaign on sales over and above what people would buy anyways. Now, this is critical for marketers because it allows them to understand the true return on investment of an ad campaign. So we propose a new way to run ad experiments that improves on today's existing approaches. It's what we call the public service announcement approach. So the basic idea is that in the treatment group, the consumers would see ads for, let's say, Doritos. And in the control group, they would see unrelated ads like ads from the Red Cross. And then you would measure the lift in Doritos sales by comparing the sales among people that were exposed to the Doritos ad in the treatment group to those that were exposed to the Red Cross ad in the control group. Now, the problem here is that these unrelated ads, like these ads from the Red Cross, they're expensive. And so this means in practice that advertisers are going to run few ad experiments, if any. So another approach is that instead of showing the Red Cross ad, you would just show the next best ad. When Doritos doesn't advertise, consumers are seeing a bunch of different competing ads from competing advertisers. And this doesn't cost Doritos any money. But what the Red Cross ad was doing, you recall, is it allows you to compare the people that were exposed to the Doritos ad to the people that were exposed to the Red Cross ad. And without the Red Cross ad, we have no way of knowing who in the control group would have been exposed to the ad campaign. And so our solution, Ghost Ads, kind of gives you the best of both worlds. It shows the next best ad to the consumer, but just like the Red Cross ad, it tags consumers that would have seen the ad for Doritos. Now, how does this work? Ad platforms run auctions to decide which ads to show which consumer. And so we're going to run two auctions in the control group. The real auction, from the set of all advertisers but Doritos, chooses which ad is shown to the user. And so this is the way that the consumer sees the next best ad. The simulated auction, from all advertisers, including Doritos, tells us whenever Doritos would have been shown to the user, and we log this in what we call a Ghost Ad. So just summing up, Ghost Ad is a new way to run ad experiments with many advantages. The principal advantage is that these experiments are free and easy for advertisers to run. So the price of free makes a lot of advertisers want to use our approach. So let me tell you about one advertiser that we studied in our paper that used Ghost Ads at Google. So this was an online retailer of apparel and sporting goods. Unfortunately, I can't tell you the name, but we affectionately refer to this company as SportsSing. So SportsSing was running a retargeted ad campaign and wanted to run an experiment to measure the effectiveness of this campaign. Now, retargeting is kind of a controversial form of advertising. I'm sure we've all seen it in our day-to-day lives when we're putting something in our cart at some retailer and we choose not to purchase. we get followed around, let's say by that red sweater we didn't purchase on the internet from that retailer's advertising for the next couple weeks. So this is controversial with consumers. I think there's some consumers that think, this is a great way to remind me that I actually really wanted to buy that red sweater and didn't get around to it. But it also kind of annoys some consumers, and it may cause some consumers to choose not to purchase this red sweater that's following them around the internet. So this means it's also going to be controversial with advertisers. They want to know that this is actually working. And if we kind of go back to this example of Doritos, there's an even more serious problem here, which is that a lot of the people that are going to be seeing retargeted ads are going to be purchasing without even seeing the ads. So using ghost ads, SportsSing was able to measure the true incremental effect of its retargeted ad campaign. SportsSing learned that ads lifted visits to its website by 17% and purchases on its website by about 10%. And this is kind of cool because this is the first academic evidence that retargeting can be effective. And I think there's an important lesson for practitioners that use these form of retargeting campaigns, because if the lift was 10%, it means that 90% of the sales among consumers who saw this campaign would have happened anyways. So if you were a practitioner and you were naively attributing all sales for people that saw the ad to the ad campaign, then you would be overstating the true effectiveness of this campaign by a factor of 10. My co-authors, Randall and Elmar, first implemented ghost ads at Google while they were working. Now, this was really difficult, and we learned a lot of important lessons along the way. But today, about 1,000 advertisers are running ghost ad experiments every day on Google. So this includes both YouTube and the Google Display Network. And the Google Display Network has banner and video ads running on 2 million websites, reaching over 90% of global users. So if you go to Google and want to use ghost ads, the two products that you would ask for are conversion lift and brand lift. So conversion lift allows advertisers to measure the effects of their ad campaigns on getting consumers to visit their website and complete purchases. And brand lift allows advertisers like brand advertisers to measure survey outcomes like changes in brand favorability or purchase intent for advertisers like Doritos or Coca-Cola. So Google has publicly released dozens of advertiser case studies from brand lift and conversion lift. And these include such diverse advertisers as Duracell, Wendy's, Nissan, Samsung, even Google used it for their Chromecast product. So we think this is really exciting and cool that this has been used by literally thousands of advertisers since we got this going a few years ago. So in addition to its broad use at Google, we're really excited that many online ad companies that offer experiments now offer ghost ad methodologies. So we've compiled a list of 30 companies that we know of. And this includes many companies that you're familiar with, like Google, Yahoo, Amazon, Pandora, Roku, and I would even say Facebook too. Now, there's also some companies that are more familiar to marketing practitioners, like Nielsen Catalina, Criteo, and AdRoll. But even as far afield as Japan, there's a company there called CyberAgent that makes use of our methodology. We're just thrilled that so many ad companies and advertisers use ghost ads. When we developed this idea, we thought it had potential, but never in our wildest dreams could we have imagined that it would be used so broadly. I mean, it's really rare that research is put into practice across many companies within an industry. So for this, we've been really fortunate to win awards. So we were a finalist for the Gary Lillian Practice Prize, which is for marketing science research that has an effect on practice. We won the Paul Green Award, which is the award given by the Journal of Marketing Research each year for the best paper in the previous year. A couple of weeks ago, we were really excited to learn that we won the Weitz-Winer-O'Dell Award. which is given to papers that have kind of stood the test of time. So it's a long run impact award given 5 years later to papers that have had significant impact. So we were just thrilled to win this award and to win all these awards. I also want to mention that actually Questrom's Yurgo Service was a finalist for both the Green Award and the Weitz-Winer-O'Dell Award. And actually, Questrom's Shubha Srinivasan actually won the Gary Lillian Practice Prize that year. So I think that highlights that Questrom has a really world-class marketing group, and it's an absolute pleasure to work alongside this outstanding group of scholars.